And now, the East Westchester Corporation, maker of fashionable plastic grapes for all of your home decorating needs, brings you the continuing saga of a poor body repair shop heiress on an endless search for love and togetherness on The Gathering Dusk. As we look in on the Fillmore household today, Martha, the passably fascinating daughter, with a desire to visit a southwestern state within the next year, is about to have a serious conversation with John, her fiancé of 10 longing years.
John, my dearest, thank you for stopping over on such short notice.
Oh, it is my pleasure, my darling. Besides, I'm on my lunch hour, so your summons fell at a very convenient time.
How are things going at your new job?
At Dr. Foyle's dog clinic and fitness center, do you mean?
Yes, my darling.
Quite well, my precious treasure. Dr. Foyle has been quite impressed with how my apprenticeship is going.
I am pleased, of course, and I'm happy for you, even though you always seem to smell like dog food and rabies serum.
Oh, that is because it is rabies vaccination month. Why, we must have attended to over 36 dogs this morning alone. Although I did accidentally vaccinate Nurse Rude, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry to hear that, my beloved John.
Not as sorry as Nurse Rude was, my lovely Martha. Although, on the plus side, if she were to bite you, you won't have to worry about becoming rabid.
Yes, that is a comfort.
This afternoon we will continue our dog training instruction. I'm quite excited about the progress we've made, and Dr. Foyle has told me that I get quite involved in whatever task he gives me.
Well, that's actually what I wanted to talk to you about, dear John. You have a tendency to get too wrapped up in your work.
I don't understand, my dear.
Do you remember when you worked as a streetcar conductor? You would charge me 15 cents every time I got into your car.
But I did give you a discount as a frequent rider.
Don't get me wrong, darling John. I like a man who puts himself into his work. I don't mind it so much when you've taken jobs working for professional businessmen or entrepreneurs or others who are superior to you. But what I've seen in you since you began working at Dr. Foyle's dog kennel and fitness center is beginning to bother me.
Oh, I don't understand, sweet Martha.
For instance, you're constantly scratching behind your ear. And you've started chasing cars.
I have?
And when we went out to dinner the other night, you begged me to give you the leftovers on my plate.
Oh, that's not so bad, my dearest.
No, but I wanted to save those for my lunch the next day. Besides, I don't want to get into the habit of feeding you table scraps.
And, as I recall, once you explained that, I did stop begging.
And of course, when we said goodnight, instead of kissing me, you licked my face, which I find very disagreeable and probably not very hygienic.
Well, I didn't pick that up from the dogs I work with. That came from Dr. Foyle. That is how he greets all of his guests. I assume that's just a custom where he comes from.
Well, perhaps.
Excuse me, Martha, my dear. Would you mind throwing this stick? I'm in the mood to fetch something. And please, don't just pretend to throw it. You know how that confuses me when you do that.
Not now, John. Sit.
Yes, dear.
Well, I suppose there are some advantages to these changes that have taken place with you, precious John. For one thing, you're more compliant when I tell you to sit or play dead. And you have kept the squirrels away from our bird feeders.
Well, they can be quite pesky, my love.
But still
What's that?
It's just a cat, John.
A cat?
Please focus, John. We're still talking.
Of course, my darling. I just...
John?
I'm sorry, my dear. I fear I'm being overwhelmingly compelled. I can't resist. Excuse me, my dear. Woof, woof.